The coursework site is the online home of your class. It's a virtual learning community which extends beyond the limits of formal class meetings. For blended classes, the coursework site plays an especially important role. Here at Columbia, we use the Canvas Courseworks platform, but the techniques we describe here are universal, and you could certainly use them on other platforms. A great learning environment requires thoughtful facilitation, direct communication, clear expectation, and a climate that gives all students a sense of belonging. Courseworks is a powerful teaching and learning tool that instructors can use to communicate and engage with their students, whether it's fully online, face-to-face, or hybrid blended learning. Courseworks has a lot of features, and so we're only going to talk about some of them today. Primarily, we're going to talk about features that enable communication with your students, opportunities for building community among your learners, organizing and housing asynchronous content and activities, and then finally, grading. There are lots of goals of communication and lots of opportunities for you to communicate with your students in courseworks. But the first one you'll want to consider is establishing instructor presence in your coursework site. You'll want to spend some time introducing yourself, introducing the course, and helping the learners get to know you and why you're so excited about this content. A lot of instructors do this by a welcome video. It's very popular in blended classes to include a short welcome video to your students, telling them a little bit about yourself, telling them about your excitement with the content, and giving them a preview of the types of things they'll be doing this semester. In addition to communicating about yourself with your students, you'll also want to think through the ways that you communicate course policies, procedures, or updates. Courseworks has two features that will be primarily helpful in this capacity. The first is the announcements feature, which allows you to post announcements to the homepage of your coursework site. And the next are coursework messaging options, which work a little bit like email. When students log in, they'll see their inbox has a message in it, and that will be the message from you. Either opportunity, equally valuable, but you'll want to be clear with students about which options you're using and when. You'll also want to consider how you communicate course learning objectives. We talked previously about the importance of developing course learning objectives through a process called backwards design. In addition to developing these objectives for your course design process, it's also important to communicate these objectives to your students. You'll want to have course level objectives, but you'll also want to have activity and assignment level objectives. And ideally, these two types of objectives will be in conversation with one another. As you upload your syllabus or your activity sheets or assignment sheets to Courseworks, including the objective in that opportunity can be really powerful when students are trying to make connections between the types of activities and assignments you're asking them to complete. Courseworks is also a really powerful repository for any asynchronous content, like readings or videos, that you might want students to complete before coming to class. Most popular are weekly readings and weekly videos, and organizing them according to your course schedule helps students find them easily and make sure to complete them on time. Later in this course, some colleagues will discuss a tool called Course Builder, which helps you schedule visually readings and videos that students should complete before coming to live class sessions. In addition to content, Courseworks is also a really wonderful way to engage your students in asynchronous activities. One of the most popular is online discussions. These discussions give students an opportunity to talk with one another, answer questions that you might have posed, ask questions of their peers or of you and your TAs before coming to class. And then in live class sessions, you can build on that discussion, continuing the momentum. It can be really powerful to partner with your TAs in discussion management in terms of moderating discussion boards or modeling good practices in posts. And my colleague Mark will discuss this in more detail later on in this course. In addition to asking students to engage in online discussions, you'll also want to provide some guidelines for the management of these discussions. One of the most important things that you can do in online discussions is helping to establish an inclusive climate where all students feel that their voice is heard and valued. You could do this by setting some community agreements or establishing guidelines, and you might also set etiquette rules or engagement rules that are appropriate for online discussions. In addition to setting these guidelines, it's important to articulate your participation expectations. It might be that you'd like students to complete all of the online discussions that are posted. Or it might be fine with you if students simply complete the 5 of 10 that are most interesting to them. Either option is fine, but you want to be clear from the outset so that students know what your expectations are and that they can meet them. And finally, threaded discussions are meant to be engaging. They're meant to be active. And so you want to encourage students to take an active role in facilitating and participating in the conversation. This is an opportunity for them to engage and to try and test the boundaries of their knowledge. So encouraging them to engage in that way with each other can be really, really powerful. Finally, we should talk about some of the options that Courseworks provides in grading. In addition to the tools that are available in Courseworks, it's important before you use any of them to think through what are your grading policies. Are they inclusive and are they equitable? Once you have a grading policy that maps to your course objectives, you can then think through ways that you might assess or evaluate assignments. There's a powerful tool in Courseworks called SpeedGrader, which can help you organize and move through student assignments in a very linear fashion.